Alright, hi, I'm Lars. Welcome back to the shop. It's been a couple months since I've done work on my CNC machine. Been working on designs, been working on the porch on our back of our house, which you've seen the videos if you've watched this. If you watch the channel, you've seen those videos. Came out to kick up the CNC machine today, but actually I was coming out to check on some things in the barn this morning, and flies are all over the place. I was coming out this morning to check on some stuff in the barn and the chickens, you know, gotta let the chickens out and the cats out and everything else, and walked by the CNC machine and noticed that all of the fluid in it was clear. So I thought, well, that's kind of weird. I don't run my circulatory pump all the time. Usually I only run it when I run it all winter long, but I will only run it when I'm running my CNC machine. So after I looked at it, opened up the container, there's a bunch of foam and stuff inside of it, and I was like, this can't be good. So if you want to know more about that, let's get to it. So I came in this morning just looking around and noticed that my CNC machine, on it, the coolant is normally pink, okay? And let me turn the light on here again. And this is what I noticed. I noticed there was no pink in it. I was like, well, what's going on? Is there any coolant in it? And when I squeezed the lines, I didn't feel anything. And you can see that there's no coolant in it. So I'm like, all right. So how does that work? So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to take these guys off and make sure there's nothing jammed up in that. And the reason for that is, if we come back out here, this is my buckets that I used, and you can see that the coolant, I've already dumped this out, and I thought I'd let everybody know about it. This is like yellow. Now it was that pink right there, just color pink. That's what it was. If you look inside the bucket, which was a sealed bucket, it's got all kinds of stuff in it. And it's not sawdust, because if it was, there would have been like a layer of it laying on top. This is the actual coolant that is in there. So I'm going to clean this out. I'm going to fill this back up with distilled water, which is reverse osmosis water. And as you notice, there used to be 2 gallons in here, and now there's only 1. So this has kind of got me a little perplexed. Not that I'm saying that this stuff is bad. It's just that I think that after about 3 months, it's time to pull it out and flush your system. So I'm going to do that and see what happens. So something real quick, I did get the Cool Quick Connects, or whatever they're called, which I think was a really good idea when getting this. These things pop on and off, and they seal when you disconnect. So I think that was a really good idea. I don't know if you guys can see these or not. You can zoom in on them. Okay, so these came from PwnCNC, or PwnCNC. I think it's because somebody said it means own, and I think it's because someone can't type, but I don't really know. So I don't see any debris in here per se, like nothing's floating back down in there. But I'm going to get a wrench and I'm going to open these up just to make sure. Alright. There could be some debris if it got, you know, pulled through the motor, because there's no real filter on those motors. They're just fish tank or pond motors. Alright, so that one there looks good. I'm going to put that one back on. Yeah, this is the one of the Z's that don't have the brake on it, so when you push on it, it will drop. Let's check this one out. Now, if you live down in the south of the United States, I don't really think you need antifreeze in the winter. You might, I don't know, I don't live there, so whoa. Yeah, so this one here, a little bit different story. It's got water in it, or fluid in it I should say, not water. I don't see any debris. So when you tap it, I'm holding down on the edge of this, so when it taps it drops down and lets air, so it lets the vacuum release. Okay. So yeah, there's no debris in that one. So I think we're good. I'm going to put this back together now. And it's better to hold the little nut by the tube and turn the actual connector to tighten it up, because otherwise you're just going to twist this tube all over the place, and then that doesn't really help anybody. Not the easiest thing to do with crescent wrenches, but or as a friend of mine says, they're not crescent wrenches, they're adjustable wrenches. Crescent's the company who made them first. And I was like, well, they used to call them a crescent wrench. So, all right, over to the water bucket. So I'm going to get this water put in here into the bucket. Then I'm going to get this pump put back in here. Make sure there's nothing left on these tubes. And then we got to submerge it. Like I said, this is a sealed system, so it's not 100% sealed. I shouldn't say 100% sealed, it's not. But it is pretty good, and you can see there's sawdust on top of this here. But this is what would happen if it would have got in. So I think a lot of that's from the coolant that just broke down. Now I'm going to turn this on, but I'm going to put this tube, the exit tube, into this bucket, into this bottle, because I don't want anything, if there's anything in there that's crap, getting into my system. And we're going to plug it in. And I'm putting my finger over the end to see if we can build some pressure in it. But I don't see anything coming back out. And that could be due to just an air pocket in there. It could be due to anything, or just water not moving at all. What I'm doing is I'm pulling out the rest of that stuff that I see in here. So I gotta go walk the line and see what's going on. Alright, it feels like it's got water going to the spindle. So I'm going to kick the spindle on just on a test, put it to manual. And that does not seem to be moving it. Turn the spindle off. Turn the system off. All right, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you can see right here, here, and here, there is blockage in this line, which again is the line that's coming in. So I need to get a bucket up here and unscrew this and get this out. So give me a minute. Alright, now there should be enough pressure in this to let this through, but I'm still going to turn the pump on just for a couple seconds and throw some water through the line. Oops, going the wrong way. Alright, so we got good water coming through there. And again, we're going to check to see about cleaning this out. Guess that does not open it up the way I thought it would. Okay, so we will get this connected back down on here. Alright, now let's see what we got going on this time. Okay, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it looks like water is moving through. So let's go check the other side. So here you can see there is colors coming through. This is the old water. There's a lot of air in here. And I mean a lot of air. All kinds of air bubbles are coming through. But we do have liquid coming out the other end. It's not, this is not as much as I would like. So I'm going to put this back into the bucket. But the water is moving at least. And I'm not real sure why we have a bunch of air bubbles in here. But it's actually pumping out now at least. And you can see that. You can see that with the bubbles down here. Now if you see the bubble coming down, and there kind of air bubbles are popping up. But at least we got fluid coming through now. I'm thinking right now that the tube is pushing. Can't really tell because, like I said, it's clear liquid, but it is dripping out the other side of the pump. The spindle seems to be spinning fine. It doesn't seem to be grinding or anything, but I'm probably going to buy one of those little things to put in between the lines so that you can see like a little paddle wheel or something spinning. Without the coolant going through the spindle, your spindle will just get really hot and it will seize up really quick. So I don't want to do that. So again, it's another thing that you just got to learn about as you're dealing with these kinds of machines. Alright, so I hope that's going to help somebody out that's having the same problem I am. I don't know why the antifreeze evaporated. I lost a gallon of antifreeze, and no, that was not stuck in the lines, because I flushed the entire line through once I was done, and I only got a little bit more liquid out of it. So I think the antifreeze you probably need to switch out about every 3 months. Like once the winter's over, get rid of it, all right? And then put distilled water back into it. Just use it over the winter. At least that's what I'm going to do. Distilled water works just fine. Make sure you take the quick connects off. Make sure you get all the debris out of it. One thing I need to do now, which I was going to do last year, but I just didn't think about it, and that's I need to get one of those paddle wheel things where you can put, you know, a tube in, see the little wheel spinning, because this water doesn't move real quick through there, and I don't really know why. I don't know if it's getting through the spindle, if that's why it bogs down or not, but it's good to see that paddle wheel spinning. If you like the video, click like, please subscribe to the channel. As always, welcome back in the shop, and have a good day.